Hello and welcome, Cambell here from AutoDidactic channel. Hope you're all having a fantastic day. And of course, AutoDidactic means to be self-educated. And we all need to be self-educated because if we're not, then the only choice we have left is to believe what other people tell us. And so that's what we're going to look into today. We're going to look at a town called New Norcia, which is in Western Australia, the state that I live in. And it's very strange. It's this little tiny, teeny town in the middle of nowhere that's basically just old world buildings. So let's jump in and have a look at New Norcia. Okay, so New Norcia is a town in Western Australia, 132 kilometres or 82 miles north of Perth on the Great Northern Highway. It's situated next to the banks of the Moore River. And the story says, it says the town has many heritage sites and places of interest. And it really does. Now, this is a picture of New Norcia in 1860. Well, this is a drawing of New Norcia. And this is, sort of the story that they're trying to weave. But we do have some old world buildings here. But they're saying that this, excuse me, they're saying that this town was built by monks. So it says on March 1st, 1846, a Benedictine mission to the local Ute, is that how I say that? To the local Ute people was started about 8 kilometers to the north, led by Spanish Benedictine monks Giuseppe Serra and Rosendo Salvado. Within a year, the mission was moved to where the town is today, and on March 1st, 1847, the foundation stone of the monastery was laid. So 1847 in Australia. Australia was discovered, 1788. Perth, which is the closest, settlement, because there's not much in WA. Western Australia is pretty much a desert apart from just the bottom southwest corner. So Perth, 1829. So this is, what's that, 18 years after Perth was discovered, basically was settled. We're told the first, Europeans, moved in and settled there in 1829. 18 years later, we've got Benedictine monks up building an abbey. So it says, we just got a list of the abbots here. And of course, the history is like 5 lines. The abbey was founded by 2 monks, Giuseppe and Rosendo. After 2 years spent among the local Aboriginals, they felt they could be more easily converted by establishing a mission rather than following them on their journeys. So Salvador was appointed the first abbot of New Norcia on the 12th of March, 1867. So this is, again, that's, what's that? 18 years again after they built it, apparently. They got their first abbot. It's strange. And now it goes to 1886. So we've just jumped, what? We're jumping like decades here. 13,000 acres was leased, blah, blah, blah. They grew all this stuff. So there you go. That's the history, guys. Nothing. Not a thing. Nothing. They just mentioned 2 monks, and they say that the cornerstone was laid on March the 1st, 1847. They didn't have an abbot until 1867, 20 years later. And then it jumps up to 1886. So there's nothing here. Nothing at all. So this is the New Norcia Hotel. Old world building, anyone? This is not a castle, guys. This is not a castle. This is St. Ildefonsus's boys' school. Of course, this is how you build a boys' school in the middle of the Australian outback. Look at this building here too. Not much of an improvement, but you can see the step. See how they step these walls up like that? That's a feature seen on many old world buildings. And this is the Abbey Church. And apparently it contains the tomb of Rosendo Salvador, one of the first monks. But Again, we've got a tower here with a dome on it. Antiquity, just very, very old world. And of course, these rocks here, they could be part, they could be the wall, or they could just be facading. This could just be like tiles, like what they do with slate. This, of course, is St. Gertrude's. Now, this, I think, is this a nunnery? I can't remember. Maybe it's the monastery, but I mean, look at this thing. Look at this building. This is the interior. Guys, this was made by a couple of monks out in the Australian bush in the 1840s. Well, they say it was built 1847, so 1840s, 1850s. Where did they get all the paint from? Apart, if they could get up there and they had the skill to paint it, where was all the paint coming from? And all this gold gilding and stuff, like, I mean, come on. This is a ridiculous story. Of course, you have to have a handball court. Okay, so they're trying to say these are like squash courts, but with your hand, built for handball. Really? I mean, come on. Look at these arches down here. I wonder what that really was made for. And even this, right, this is just obviously being used as an old shed, but you can see this is a red brick building. You can see all the brick under there. Just whack a roof on it and call it a shed. And of course, high tech, right? So New Norcia. We have the New Norcia Hotel. Oops, which is this, of course. We have, and these are the interiors. So these are old world buildings. You can see we've got the high ceilings, these high doors. You can see they fill them in with windows, old world furniture, all the trimmings and architraves. It's all there. This is the monastery. And again, like, they love to put these verandas on the buildings in Australia to change the look. But we'll have a look at that later. This is the old convent on the main road. I mean, come on, built by monks in the 1840s. And of course, they don't give us any story of how all these other buildings were built. They just say there was a cornerstone laid for the monastery. This is St. Gertrude's College. Not a mud flutter. Look at this. Just silly. There's our castle again, which is the school. And this is the flour mill that they built, apparently. For a couple of monks that were living out in the bush, they needed this flour mill and the wall that goes behind it, and this other building, and of course the castle in the background. Come on, where's the windmill? How are they grinding this flour? So a few more buildings, even like, look at this, even the olive workshop. Look at this old world building as. So just like I said, just sitting out in the middle, literally, of the forest. And look, we even have ruins. Look at this, and they just call these old farm buildings, right? Because this is what farmers were building in the 1850s, 2-story brick buildings for their house, apparently. And as you can see here, we've got some more ruins. Victoria Plains cricket circuit, something. Oh, I mean, look at this. This has been hammered, whatever this is, but I mean, very likely an old world remnant. And see, here's some more. Look at that, yeah, definitely old. Look how old these bricks are. And this is what they do, they just leave it to rot. And so this is the story, right? We're going to have a look at it on Google Earth as well. They tell us, they went in, they built these amazing buildings, and then, of course, people came in, but then they just all left because they found out it was a bad place after they built their 2-story houses. And so that's how all the ruins is, just the small parts of this old world city, this old world, in small pictures, this old world town. I mean, look at this. These are ridiculous. Full-on castle out in the middle of nowhere. domes, all this stuff built by a couple of monks. All right, so there you go. So we are now going to have a look at this town on Google Earth. And here we are on the Googles of Earth, and this is New Norcia up here. So this is Perth. So and if we get our little ruler out here, we go sort of Perth to New Norcia, we'll find it is 113,000 meters. What's that? 113 kilometers. So they walked 113 kilometers to this place to build. And this is, it's just, there's a bit of farming around. There's not much out here. And this is New Norcia. And this is literally all it is. Just this tiny town. But it's got a couple of interesting buildings in it. So let's go down. You can see, these kind of familiar shapes. Got a cross here, a few other bits and pieces. So you see, this is the main monastery building. These, old world sort of fences we see. This is like modern link fence in the middle here, but these, the masonry fences, we see them everywhere. And just this building, you'll see there's another outbuilding here, and then up here there is. To get on the road. Oh, okay, so up here, trying to get run over. There's this building. And as you can see, it's quite large. And this, they tell us, is the old convent. Now, I can't zoom in, but you've seen this on the pictures, all this iconography. And, again, what's this got to do with, Christianity, right? Nuns, nothing really. Looks like the old world. Got all these windows here, and of course, it's not level. You can see it down here going off, and then it comes up high. It looks like it starts to dip off a bit at the end there. And then, of course, in the background, we have this monastery. So I'll just go down a little bit and have a look down here. So this is, look at this school as well. It's actually the whole town. You can see out the back here, we've got a castle. So we can't see the best, but it's there. This is, look at this. Completely, not level again, completely mud flooded. And, just old world looking, right? We've got the arches down here, the arch windows, just, the way they've built, you can't really see it here, but the way they build the facades, what are they called? The front bits, and they're all staggered, and it even looks like I had a bigger door in there at some point, but yeah, this bit here, just all very old world. Steps going up, of course. And this is just in the middle of nowhere. Right, here's another old, another old masonry building that looks just, look at that. This top floor looks way too short. There's something going on there. But this is just in the middle, pretty much in the middle of nowhere, right? There's not that much out here in Western Australia. There's just not. And down here, you'll see there's a church. And you can see, of course, it's got a tower with a dome on it. Of course, there's a cross there, so we know it's all Christian. You can see here low doors, so it's completely flooded out as well. But an old world building, and again these these columns and these masonry fences and gateways and columns and things that we see. I mean, that's probably a little solid old world building too. There's another view of the castle, huge building in front of it. I mean, I can even look at the walls here. But the whole place has got these amazing old world buildings. Well, a couple, because it's not very big. But look at this. It's just in the middle of nowhere. It really is. So that is New Norcia, and that's the whole town. So we've got the convent. Is that right? Convent, I think I'm wrong. Oh, here. Sorry, convent here. The monastery here. This is the castle. They're calling that a hotel. And down here was the school. Again, another old world building. And even this was an old world building, and the church here with the big steeple on it. And that's, that's more than 50% of the town. This is probably just, that's the Benedictine community, part of the Benedictine monks. So literally the whole town is just centered around the monastery and convent. Castle, so there you go, right? Crazy, in the middle of nowhere, the old world appears. So there you go, guys. New Norcia in Western Australia, a town built by two monks back in the 1840s in the middle of nowhere. They had no, as far as we're told, no skill as builders or architects or anything. No story of who actually built it, where the materials came from, or anything. It's basically just a group of old world buildings just sitting out in the middle of nowhere that have been taken over and turned into a monastery. So there you go. Thank you for spending some time with me. Hope you enjoyed that one. Please give me a like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Have an amazing day, and I'll talk to you all on the next upload. Bye for now.